And just like that, we're back. So thank you all for joining the Tampa Bay Breakfast Club this morning. And this morning we have with us Dr. Reginald Howard. He's the author of the new book, You Are the Prayer That You Pray. And he'll be in St. Petersburg this weekend for a book discussion and signing. And today he's joining us to talk about spirituality, prayer, and personal transformation. So welcome, Dr. Howard. How are you?
I'm good, and thank you for having me today.
Awesome. And before we actually start talking about the book, would you mind telling the listeners a little bit about yourself and what led you to write You Are the Prayer That You Pray?
Well, I am a graduate of Clark Atlanta University, grew up here in Atlanta, lived in D.C. for a short stint. I'm an ordained minister, and I got my doctorate in psychology. So I'm basically taking psychology and spirituality and intertwining them. The original understanding of psychology was really the understanding of the soul, as opposed to what we have now, which is really the understanding of the mind and the personality. It was really about understanding the person's soul. So I'm intertwining those and helping us to understand who and what we are from a holistic standpoint, mind, body, and soul.
Oh, that's really powerful. And the title itself is a very powerful title as well. When you say you are the prayer that you pray, what does that actually mean, like in everyday life?
Well, prayer, as I have begun to understand it and know it now, is prayer is the ongoing practice of living in alignment with God, or living in alignment with the divine will of God. So it's more than just silently communicating, silently or verbally communicating with God. I'm helping people to understand that prayer encompasses your thoughts, your feelings, your words, and your behaviors. So we have to be aligned in all of those different aspects of our lives in order for our prayers to manifest. And we have a very, very narrow understanding of what prayer really is. So I'm helping to expand it such that we can begin to even know ourselves and even have a more expanded view of God, because we're really not separate and apart from God. See, that's the other thing. You're always communicating with God through your thoughts, through your feelings, through your words, and through your actions. So if any aspect of our being is disjointed or will I say not in alignment with our higher selves, then we're not going to get the answers that we want. And it's not God withholding anything. It's either us, in many cases, it's us believing that we can't have something.
Wow.
You know, the scripture even goes further to say that it's the Father's good pleasure to give you the kingdom, and that I came that you might have life and that you might have it more abundantly. So I'm really working to expand our awareness of who and what we are, and that the God presence lives in us, through us, and as us. If God is everywhere, then you have to be a representative or a manifestation of the God presence.
Right. Q.
I'm sitting up here listening now. Why did you see like the need to write this book?
Well, I think particularly at this time, we're living in a very harsh political environment.
Yes.
And so it's going to take more. You know, I often hear people say that God is sitting on the throne and God will have the last word, but God is sitting on the throne in us. And so unless we understand who and what we are, my next book is entitled, You Are the Power of God in Action. See, unless you get up and do something, nothing's going to happen for you. See?
I know that's right.
God presence works in us. And, you know, we hear a lot of people complain about the president. But we have to realize and know that there's a greater power within us than what is in the world. And so unless we connect to that, because that's all that our African American ancestors did, Rosa Parks, Harriet Tubman, Martin Luther King, they connected to the God presence within them. And that's what really made them so great. It was their spirituality, them understanding and knowing the God presence within them. That's how they anchored their place in history. We often hear about their accomplishments, but we don't really know what motivated them to do what it is that they did. And I say that it was really related to them understanding and knowing their divine connection to God.
You speaking my language, man. When you talk about that prayer and action, because you're right. A lot of people do pray for things, peace, success, healing, and all of those things. And so, how does the book actually challenge people to align their lives with their prayers? Like, what's the impetus? How you moving them?
Right. So you got to, first of all, your thoughts, your thinking. See, many times our thinking is not quite in alignment with God. Everything is initiated through thought. So if your thoughts are negative, or if they are, or if you suffer from low self-esteem, you're not going to manifest the goodness of God that lives within you. Jesus said that the kingdom of heaven is within you. So there's a rich heavenly presence that's within you.
Right.
But if your thoughts aren't aligned with it, see, if your thoughts are, I'm unworthy, I'm no good, I'm wretched. See, we've all learned that too through the traditional and many traditional spiritual settings, that we're unworthy, that we're wretched, that we're no good. See, that kind of talk is not going to, or those kind of thoughts are not going to get us to where we need to be. And particularly now in this political environment that we live in. So we don't have to get a broader understanding of what God, we got to stop thinking or saying that God is going to do it all. God can do it all, but he's got to do it through you. This is how God gets himself into the world.
That's
so
right.
What I'm hearing, you are who you say you are and who you believe you are, and you have to do the work, and God is going to get you there. But you got to drive this car.
Right.
Like, you can't just get in the car and just be like, I'm going to end up in Tampa. You got to do some work with it.
Right. You got to do some work with, even, the scripture even tells you, prove me now. So you got to prove the presence of God in you right here and right now. This is your eternal life. You know what I'm saying? This is where your eternal life begins, right here, right now, today. And so you've got to prove the presence of God right now. Right now is where your point of power is. It's not into tomorrow. It wasn't into yesterday. It's what you do right now that's going to get you to where you need to be. So we've got to be able to broaden our understanding, broaden our awareness of who and what we are. We got to broaden who and what God is. God can't be contained. See, we got it contained, and we believe that the God presence is up there somewhere, and not really realizing that God moves in us, through us. As even the scripture tells you that in him we live, we move, and we have our being.
Yeah. So Dr. Howard, this is interesting to hear this, because I'm a member of the Nation of Islam, and that was kind of my spiritual upbringing and growth and development. And that's really one of the core teachings, right? It's like self-improvement, the basis for community development, knowledge of God is knowledge of self. And so to hear you say these things now, how is that being received? Because it in my humble opinion, this kind of goes against some of our traditional, thought patterns and ways that we show up when we get to church.
Right. Well, you could tell I'm a very non-traditional kind of minister.
Yes.
But now I think that because of everything that's going on in the political environment, I think that people are beginning to wake up. Now, everybody is not waking up to it, but I believe that there is some rumblings where we're beginning to come out of the slumber of who and what we are. We got to come out of it. And I think that this is a wonderful time, quite honestly, because many of us have been asleep for a long time. And so what is happening now is that all of the ugliness and all of the racism and everything is coming forth, it had been squashed down, and somebody put something pretty on top of it, tried to put a rose garden on top of it, but now it's all becoming unearthed.
Right.
And I'm gonna be quite honest. I'm very happy that it's coming forward, because you can only resolve that which you can see and which you understand, which you tell yourself the truth. You can't solve a problem. You cannot solve a problem without facing it.
That's
and
right.
see, for many of us, we haven't faced the ugliness. See, when you are able to face your problem or face anything that you deem ugly, you then begin to develop great self-respect for your own self and courage, and you're able to resolve your problems. But if you hide it, bury it, and don't look at it, your problem will still be there, and you'll still stumble around it, and it'll never get resolved. See, I'm a person that believes spiritual principles in order to be self-mastered. See, there's a lot of people who say, well, we follow Jesus. I want to be Christ-like. If Jesus was the master teacher, then you need to be mastering spiritual principles that he taught. See, they didn't come up with Christianity until long after he was gone. He was really not talking about being a Christian. He was talking about your direct spiritual connection to God. That's what he was really talking about.
Man,
good morning.
Good morning. Y'all hear that? Y'all hear that? I hear something. Welcome to the Tampa Bay Breakfast Club. Let's just try that. See what the radio audience says. Yeah.
Say your name.
Welcome to the Tampa Bay Breakfast Club. I'm your brother John.
And this is Qiana.
And this program is being brought to you as part of the New Image Project at the Community Development and Training Center, aka See That?
See That.
We'd like to thank y'all for tuning in, helping us to redefine what's cool, because smart is
the new
gangsta.
Baby.
And if you don't know, now you know.
Now you know.
It's a Monday morning.
It is.
And I guess people be in here on the weekend bothering stuff, because it ain't like we left it.
I guess this is a radio station, so everybody got their preferences.
Yeah, they got their preferences and traditions. Good morning. What's good? She said, I hear y'all good now. Thank you so much, Tiffany, our off-air production team. We appreciate y'all. So how was your weekend?
It was pretty dandy.
Dandy is a word.
It was pretty. So, okay, let me
weekend.
Go backwards. Yesterday was my auntie Diane's 77th birthday.
Okay, I got an auntie Diane too.
And we went out to eat. I actually had so much fun. We had fun.
Nice.
It was like 8 of us that end up going.
Okay.
Saturday, had some running around. We did the family fun day.
Yes, Lord, which was amazing.
Friday, I can't remember.
Okay. As far as you can go back.
Yeah, 2 days back. I mean, something may jog my... Oh, I know what I did. Friday, I went to Urban.
Yeah.
Culture Creative.
Flat Sober Feelings?
Yes, Flat Sober Feelings, which was so dope.
Yeah.
To get like a nice little vibe, R&B vibe. And so, yeah.
Good morning, Miss Davis.
See, I knew something would and then even on Saturday, I went to Rhythm at Culture Creative. They had another event there. So
Culture Creative kind of like doing the thing.
Oh, yeah. It's definitely for the culture. Like, as far as just events that's coming, smaller ones. And so they're targeted for a certain audience. Like, everybody, like, it's definitely a mature crowd or somebody that's trying, just want to hang, but not party. That makes sense.
not party. Okay,
like have a good time.
Yeah.
Have a good time. Don't have to watch your back. Ain't nothing, it's always really chill. It ain't a rah crowd.
Okay.
But everybody seemed very friendly in the atmosphere. Like the atmosphere is always really nice. Yeah. And you can everything is in with intentions. Okay. So like next week they're gonna have a poetry night, you have writing camps in there. They do photography camp, little things
so it is a cultural creative,
right? So it is for people who are.
To the name.
Yes, it is.
No doubt. And so before we get too far going, I want to remind y'all that the Tampa Bay Breakfast Club is an independently produced program. The views, opinions, statements expressed by the host, guests, or callers are their own and do not necessarily reflect the views, positions, or policies of Breaqkfast Radio. 99 Gems is ownership, management, affiliate, sponsors, or partners. So just make sure we say that.
Oh yeah, we got to.
And also we again want to consistently give a shout out to Stephanie Wynn from the Stephanie A. Wynn Foundation for the work that she's doing. Mm-hmm. So she will be having the event, the 4th annual Let's Talk About IBD Health and Wellness Symposium that's happening on March the 28th. That's coming quick too, y'all. Mm-hmm. March the 28th, 10 a.m. At St. Pete, and you can learn more about it by going to StephanieAWynFoundation.org. And I think Stephanie might have just had a birthday. She just turned 50. So happy birthday, Steph. Woo-woo. And then also, you're right. This Saturday, we had a blast over at the We Are Next Spring Break Takeover, Community Field Day. So I want to give a special shout out to the community partners, the sponsors, the vendors, the residents and stakeholders, and everybody who showed up. I played kickball. Me and my wife too. We played kickball. Got out there. I felt it immediately. Yeah. I need to move around a little bit more, y'all, because that kickball game kind of put it on me a little bit. But I'm back. And
did you rest yesterday afterwards?
Oh my God, yeah, I did. I rested yesterday for real. Like I had a good day yesterday. Like I ain't gonna even tell y'all what time I got up. But,
good for you.
Yeah, but I had to kind of sleep that one off. But it was field day activities for the youth, senior activities, and the St. Pete Community Kitchen provided the meal service, which is another project. I guess you would call it a pilot. Like the first of a series of things that's going to be happening. So y'all stay tuned where you can see and tap in with the St. Pete Community Kitchen. DJ Super Dave was on the ones and twos, Child Spark resident as well. So he provided the music and the vibes. And then Eric Jackson, Story 727.
Ooh, we got some strawberries.
Man, he pulled up with a truckload.
A trailer
load. He pulled up with a trailer load of the strawberries. And that was like the highlight for me. Because
community doing what community's supposed to do.
They're supposed to do. So so thank you to everybody who came out, everybody who showed up. Also, tomorrow, if you do care about where you live and you want to know the people that's next door to you and be a part of the future that we're building, the Child Spark Neighborhood Association is where you want to be. And so we're meeting tomorrow night at 6:30, continuing the momentum. Like we've been kind of doing the thing, like got recognized by the mayor and the city staff and everybody for a little bit of work that we've been doing. And so if you want to be a part of it, you're definitely welcome. It's not just a meeting, it's a movement in motion. Neighbors working together. So we got some cleanups that's scheduled for April. I think we planning a poetry day in the park. We got the block party coming up on the 27th. And of course, in the summertime, Friday night done right.
Let them kids come. Let them kids come to
we got some stuff cooking. So if you want to be a part of it, y'all can come out tomorrow night, 6:30 at the Child Spark Rec Center. It's gonna be lit. Yeah.
All right.
Did you see Jamal Bryant apologized?
What he said? No, what he said?
Oh yeah, Jamal Bryant, he apologized for the for calling off the boycott. He said, okay, there we go. Look, shout out. Hey, sweetie, my wife is in here too.
So what Jamal Bryant say?
Oh my bad, I got totally distracted.
You do that time.
Sunshine. So Pastor Jamal Bryant, the Atlanta mega church leader who helped organize the national boycott of Target, issued an apology after the backlash erupted over comments suggesting that the boycott had ended. The confusion began when Bryant had announced that the end of his personal Target fast, that's what he was calling it. So I watched the video. So he had like a 20-minute video. I shared it on my personal page. And he basically was saying it was a Target boycott that was kind of the national thing. Tamika Mallory, Nina Turner, former Senator Nina Turner, and some others. And then there was a Target fast, which they were supposed to be doing starting March of last year, just going for like 40 days from Ash Wednesday to Easter. But then they kept it going. And he was saying that they were bringing an end to that. However, many people interpreted Bryant's announcement as meaning the entire national boycott was over, which led to criticism from other activists who said the broader movement was still going. So what he clarified, he said he only ended his personal fast, not the entire boycott. So it was like he was like you, I'm done, I'm going back. The movement was not his to it wasn't his to end. Basically, he was saying that he misspoke, he misstepped. He said that he was out of touch with what was happening and with boots on the ground. He apologized for being out of step. He acknowledged that the boycott was largely led by Black women activists, including Tamika Mallory, Nina Turner, and Nakima Levy Armstrong. And he also addressed rumors circulating online that stated that he had received compensation. And he said flat out, he wasn't paid. Nobody gave him a dime. And so he didn't receive any compensation, but he basically walked back his whole Target is over.
Well, he said what he said. He apologized. He realized, as you want people to take accountability, he still stood on that. My fast is over. Do as you please.
Didn't explicitly say it, but he kind of said it. When he said that it was continuing, he didn't say like I'm continuing with them. Right. So it was implied that it was over, but not expressly stated.
Dr. Jamal, I'm with you.
Yeah.
Right. My fast is over as well. But I do like that he got ahead of it immediately, and typically that's what you want people to do. Now, I'm gonna say the people in the it ain't real. I don't believe it. Like I'm just saying
his apology.
Yeah, people.
They say his apology wasn't real.
No, I'm just saying in general. I didn't see it. I'm just saying that's what people do.
Oh no, because this sister Nakima Levy. Nakima Levy Armstrong. So she's a activist out of Minneapolis. And I was watching her on Roland Martin, and she had a problem with everybody. Like Tamika Mallory, Nina Turner, Jamal Bryant. Like she was like, ain't none of them really bought it for real. And I guess Target is headquartered in Minneapolis. And so she was basically saying how they kind of came in and tried to co-opt what she was doing. It was a hard interview to watch too, because she was just like so angry,
and so she can't get. So with her being so angry, she really can't articulate what's really going on because the emotions and the facts are getting mixed up together. And so she can't.
It was tough. It was really tough to watch. So Roland Martin, he played like the clip of Jamal Bryant's apology right before her interview, and so when she came on the interview, she was like that. Jive turkey. She didn't say that word, but it was like, she was just like, it was a theatrical performance, I think might have been her words. And she didn't think that the apology was, that's why when you said what you said, I thought,
I didn't.
No, but that was her take.
I know people. I know people.
And she clearly is people. And she was saying, she didn't think that the apology was sincere. They don't have integrity. And she was talking about like all the people in the movement. And it just highlighted how united and divided we are at the same time.
We are.
It was actually sad to watch. It is really hard to watch.
What happens is
she wanted to say she went back too.
Let's see.
No.
Sorry.
Hold the line, y'all. Hold the line.
No, the fast is over for me.
The boycott continues.
I was talking to I'm not gonna shame nobody who don't go back.
Okay.
And I'm gonna ask y'all not to look at me crazy because I done already told y'all that I'm going back. Now I was with y'all.
Okay.
With us. I was with us.
Yeah.
I was with us. Okay. And now I'm with the other side that done went back, right?
And the other part of the conversation that I watched with Nakima Levy Armstrong, it was asking about like demands, and I guess the new leadership has, I guess Tamika Mallory and Nina Turner have met with Target, and they asked if she met with them, and she said they reached out, but she hasn't. Like they have a starting point for the negotiations. And so she said that the starting point is not where they were starting from. And so it was like, if you're not starting from here, then we don't even need to talk, basically.
Okay.
Yeah. So one of them asked for what you want, not what you think they'll give you. But she was like, she ain't even interested if they're not starting from a baseline of where they began, because, you know, again, they made a pledge, I think, of like $2 billion in response to George Floyd. Minneapolis is the headquarters. She's an activist in Minneapolis. And so they have a different perspective, I guess, than people around the country on what's happening and then what needs to happen.
But is she, so here we go. Is she the spokesperson for Minneapolis?
I have no idea.
That's what, so you know how,
like, be, though.
But no, who made her? Like, you know how, like,
okay,
when people come to you and be like, oh, you're the loudest, so like you're good. Okay, not necessarily. I think
might have been like former NAACP's organizer or something like, I don't know. Exactly.
Okay. Yeah. So when I'm saying, and I'm not discrediting her whatsoever.
Yeah.
But we see where some of those people still, you know.
Yeah.
I don't want to be disrespectful. So that's why I'm kind of like,
yeah,
tiptoe. Like, I don't want to go.
I'll send you a link and then we can talk about it.
Then we'll talk about it, because I really don't want to be disrespectful and be like, you know,
that she don't really speak for the people or something like that.
Or, you know, like,
that was her take. Her take was like, these people who came in after it started, I guess they initiated it. And when they initiated it, it kind of took off nationally. And then now people who were not the originators of it are positioning themselves as though they are, and like as though they can end it when they didn't start it. And I guess that was kind of the whole beef with Jamal Bryant. Like, you can't end something that you really didn't start.
Right. And I'm
so
glad
he said the target fast. He did start the fast so he can end the fast.
Right.
But he couldn't end the boycott. But
and I like it.
Merged the two. Yeah.
I like it. Take accountability, clear it up, keep it moving. Sister from Minneapolis, I pray and hope that you get what you need. You know, and it is hurtful when you think that you started something and somebody else kind of come and take it and get the shine for what, because you feel like you're not being represented and then you're not getting the credit for what's so big and major. And so just hearing what you said, she's mad that her name is overshadowed.
No, she's always listed and they always shout her out. I think her beef was the fact that they have been negotiating on behalf of the people of Minneapolis, I guess, but not really in line with what the people of Minneapolis really want.
But see, this is not a Minneapolis thing.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
you know,
I guess because the headquarters were there. So yeah, you're right. I mean, I'll send you the link so that you can have context and you can.
So I can go back into, because
we can watch it.
Because now that it's nationwide.
Yeah. That's like what Roland Martin was trying to say too, but she was like interrupting. She was on one.
So that's what I'm saying. Now that it's nationwide, like,
and then if you know Roland Martin style,
I do.
Yeah, you know what I mean. And so,
I ain't really too keen on his style either no more. So.
And so, again, even though Bryant said he ended the fast, other organizers made it clear that the broader boycott is not officially over. Activists say they will continue pushing Target for accountability and stronger commitments to Black communities. And so, again, he was apologizing for the confusion that he helped for the boycott that he helped to organize. And he did say that he was really trying to just get in front of it because he don't want to be adding to confusion or division. And so let me know, y'all.
And he don't want nobody talking about him when he walk in Target.
I guess so. And so
it's 8 o'clock.
We'll take a break, and then after the break, we got a lot cooking. Want to talk about this weather. We got some Would You Rather. We got Desmond Meade step down. We want to talk about that.
Okay.
And so y'all stick around. We'll be back about 6 or 7 minutes after the hour right here on 99 Jams. The Bird.
The Bird.
I give my best, I try. Someday we'll touch the sky. You're an angel, little baby. Wipe all your tears away. I know it's been crazy, but keep your head up high.
Foot chase through the projects, dodging foreign objects. Street knowledge, I should've went to college. Odds stacked against me, surviving off instinct. 3 blocks from the precinct. Lil' homie caught a case, others lost family members. Product of his environment, projects produce violence in the middle of the streets, cause that's how we eat. Just I rap about the trap don't mean I ain't about peace.
We must stand together, all together as one. United we must stand together, fighting for each other till our race is done. United we must stand together. Under God we are one. We must fly to the sun every day, fight for peace, not destroying our dreams.
Peace in the streets, love to my brothers, love to my sisters. We all need each other. Children need their mothers and they need their dads. Taking a life that don't make you bad. The fact that you do that is so sad. Pocket watching, plotting on another man's cash. Pick up a book instead of picking up a gun. Increase your knowledge and that'll increase your funds. If everyone succeeds, then crime would decrease and people would live instead of resting in peace. Unity, that's what we need. Stand up and be a positive force in the community.
We are one, we must fly to the sun every day, fight for peace, not destroying our dreams. We must stand together,
Must stand together.
all together as one.
As one people.
United we must
United,
stand
we shall
together,
rise.
fighting for
You fight for me
till our race is done.
till we see God.
United we must
United,
stand
we will rise.
together.
Clap with me.
Under
Clap.
God, we
Clap.
are
Yes,
one.
sir.
We must
Clap.
fly to the
Clap.
sun.
G beat on the
Every
track,
day,
man, and I
fight
mean
for
this is from the
peace,
heart.
not destroying
Back and
our
forth to
dreams.
prison, cause my position in the ghetto is wishing. My dreams was in my hand, man, instead of so distant. Violent crimes on my record, showing judges I'm reckless. Guess they think I'm rich and young, like Young and the Restless. Every time I see a young brother rich in peace, got to be the only time when I watch TV. Cause the struggling and suffering is all I see. Besides muscling and hustling that wall with heat, I point the finger at the devil, boy, for taking my peace. Cause the only way to live is to take to the streets. But they rate me as a villain for the killing and dealing. For what? My last resort to make me a living. I don't give a damn, tell them so what? I'm gonna survive even if they threaten me with life. The arms of poverty held tight, making life a fight. But in the sky, we got to unite. Keep your head in the sky.
We must stand together, all together as one. United we must stand together, fighting for each other till our race is done. United we must stand together. Under God we are one. We must fly to the sun every day, fight for peace, not destroy
Qiana.
And this program is being brought to you as part of the New Image Project of the Community Development and Training Center, aka See That.
See That.
And we like to thank y'all for tuning in and helping us to redefine what's cool, because smart is
the new
gangster.
Baby.
And if you don't know,
now you know.
And this program, the Tampa Bay Breakfast Club, is what we call it, and it's independently produced. So the views, opinions, and statements expressed by the host, guests, or callers are their own and do not necessarily reflect the views, positions, or policies of Carafesta Radio, 99 Jams, its ownership, management, affiliates, sponsors, or any of our partners. But what that means, y'all, is y'all can give us a call and share what's on your mind, and nobody can hold it against you. So yeah, give us a call. Before the break, we was talking about Jamal Bryant. He issued this apology for his misstep with the Target fast / boycott.
He ended the fast, not the boycott.
He ended the fast, not the boycott. And so and so y'all could go back and check that out as well. But do you think that economic boycotts still work today like they did during the civil rights movement?
Yep.
Or have corporations learned how to ride them out?
Some people do. Some do, but no, you definitely see. This is an example right now of Target, because if they really didn't see the impact, they wouldn't have made no adjustments.
Okay, I hear that. And they wouldn't be reaching out trying to talk to people, right? So yeah, y'all put it in the chat. Let us know. Do you think that the economic boycott still worked like they did during the civil rights movement, or have corporations learned just like, we're going to wait you out, we're going to ride you out, we're not going to even?
I think some corporates, like you have like the Walmart, right?
Okay.
Who has positioned themselves that like they really don't have to fold to nobody's demands, because they have put themselves in a position where it's a need and not a want.
Okay. So like you can't not go to Walmart.
I mean, some people can. They do, the majority.
Okay.
Because there will be some people, because Walmart was supposed to be on that list.
Yeah. You don't really hear them talk.
They don't talk about Walmart because Walmart positioned themselves to be there, less expensive. They're a little bit,
Yeah.
Because Walmart was first on that list before Target.
They were. And Amazon was on the list too.
Right. And ain't nobody said nothing about
Amazon or Walmart.
Right. But good. But what we do have is good old Target, that because Target
is an easy target.
It was, it's a different kind of clientele.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like you reading over here, like I ain't really go to Target, like
Yeah, because I wasn't like a Target, shopper.
Right.
Either. So it was easy for me to boycott because I.
But most people find something at Walmart that they need.
Okay.
And so we didn't hear, like they didn't push that hard about the Walmart.
Right. But do you think they still work? Like,
I think so.
You think they still?
I think so. We just saw it at Snacks.
Yeah.
At
Snacks.
Right.
Yeah.
So when you're looking at it, if we stick together, I think anything's possible.
Yeah. Shout out to the Black Money Movement, y'all. So yeah, keep it going. Keep your foot up on the gas. But yeah, I just thought that was interesting that when he apologized, saying that it was over, it wasn't like over. It was just over for him, and what he had going on. And I guess people misunderstood what he was saying.
But people don't listen to full interviews either. Like they take snippets. I didn't listen to I just kind of read the headlines and then just kind of went on with that, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm okay with it, because you know how like you have a conversation, you say something and somebody's like, oh no, okay, well then I misspoke. That's not what I meant when I said it. This is kind of so.
So Val says the boycott, divest, sanction movement has made a lot of progress with boycotting boycotting companies that support Israel by only picking the worst offenders and using targeted selective economic pressure.
Mm-hmm.
Because that is a big one too. Like any companies that support, this was kind of during the height of the October 7th war that started over there with Palestine, and we can't really call it a war. The genocide that they're doing over there. But it was a lot of people who started saying, if you support Israel, then we're not gonna, support you. Mm-hmm. And it has been making traction as well. So thank you for lifting that up and reminding us. Those who may have forgotten that is still happening, because a lot of people move on so quick, man.
Yeah.
And then UB says, without an alternative, it's not the same effect because it's limited for major corporations.
Yeah,
I agree. Tiffany, same deal. Target was an easy target. I only shopped there once in a blue moon anyway, because I thought Walmart was cheaper for everyday household items. And yeah, thank you.
And when you do that, I'm saying, tell you what made me.
President.
What made me, and we could get off the Target and Walmart, is because I was a Walmart girl, right? And then when I started going to Target is more diverse as far as things that we need.
Okay, when you say diverse, meaning Black people?
Yes.
Okay.
And so when I started seeing like those things in there, and they were more, so it was more intentional for their audience, and you know that they were trying to get in their target people. So like that's why I like Target. Like there's a lot of stuff that I can find at Target that I wasn't able to find in other locations.
So speaking of like Target, these boycotts, let me take this last comment, and then I want to change into something I saw Professor Mack post over the weekend. Target don't offer things like Walmart. The grocery department at Target sucks. Catch Walmart in the morning at 6 a.m. The best produce if you can't afford Publix. True. Here's the other thing, right? Because I remember Publix was like on a boycott list because of Immokalee and the farm workers and everything like that. And so Target, I mean, Publix has been on the list too for a while.
They get on, get off, and they don't really. They get on, get off, get on, get off, get back on, and then get back off.
Yeah. Which is why we need to build our own institutions.
I
like the
agree.
Grocery co-op. So if you're tired of all of them, then let's just start our own. How about that? We can start our own, and we actually have started. And so you can go to ocgc.coop. Learn more about the One Community Grocery Co-op. This way we can wean ourselves off of these corporate players who really don't have our best interests at heart. And also we'll be able to provide fresh and healthy food options to our community, as well as the economic development benefits, creating jobs, creating member owners, people who actually own and invest in these places to benefit. And so let's do our own thing, man. Because I mean, clearly we see that none of them really have our best interests at heart. But I won't even say what I was going to say. I want to talk about this thing. So I saw this, it was a post by Professor Mack. Shout out to Brother Donnie, the intellectual gangster. And he was talking about identity politics, right?
Okay.
And so you hear people talk about identity politics all the time. And usually it's said like it's a bad thing. Like people are dividing the country by talking about race, gender, or culture. But here's the question that we want to put on the table. What if identity, and this is what he put on the table. He was saying, what if identity politics really didn't start with the people that are talking about their identity today? What if it started with the system that decided whose identity would be treated as the default in the first place? So basically, and I think it was brilliant how he framed it, right? Because it seems like now, with especially like in Florida, with this attack on DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion, it seemed like everybody is talking about their race except for white people. Like white people don't have to talk about their whiteness, except for a few, when they start saying white power. But because they have positioned themselves as the norm or the standard. So, and then anybody else who's not white, now you have to meet up to their standard. And he was just talking about the I don't want to say the brilliance. I don't want to misquote him, but you think about that as a strategy. I guess they said the greatest trick of the devil is to make people think that he doesn't exist.
Right.
Right. And that's kind of what they've done with whiteness in America, right? Like it's just accepted. Like when you go to school, you don't read white history. Right. You don't see white leaders.
And so this is
who are the leaders of the white community.
And this is when you flip it. Like, you know how they flip Martin Luther King words.
Yeah.
So are we going to have white history?
No,
but
because all history has been white.
But then if you make them if you flip it, because now everybody needs to be equal, right?
Yep,
and if you're thinking and nobody should be more superior than the other one, technically, right? So then if we have to listen to history, as they would say it, all year round, why we need to figure out where is the equalness with it?
Okay.
So like this is how I would flip
because you're getting an overabundance of white history.
So is this?
So how do you sprinkle it and season the pot?
So every week, if you're talking about somebody white, the next week you need to talk about somebody black. Okay. You need to talk about somebody Spanish. You need, it needs because if their argument is that they're being treated unfair and their whiteness is being dimmed, right? Then our flip is that we were trying to pull everybody else up. But if we're gonna go back to this equal playing field, let's make it equal. So in these books, if you have 50 white men, do you have 50 white women? Do you have 50 black women? Do you have 50 mixed women? Do you have 50? So now like you're playing with the numbers. And so you really got to be smarter than the master. And you got to sit it. And I think with their playbook, when they sat down and flipped Dr. Martin Luther King words.
This is kind of that recent.
And reframed it so that it's beneficial for them. Now we need to reframe what they do.
Because for so long, particularly during the civil rights movement and following that, and really shout out to Elijah Muhammad and the work that he did with just naming, like, look at this man and what he's doing to you, right? Look at all of the evil that he's doing around the world. And then it kind of forced them to either say we either are that or we're not that, right?
Right.
And so when you start saying, you start highlighting all the ills and evils, what this new wave of, I guess we can call it white civil rights activism, because they're saying, look, it wasn't me, it was my grandmama and them, and like we struggling just like y'all struggling, and why should y'all have any advantages over us when that was so long ago, and now we all
they just really mad that like we kind of got the playbook. And the playbook is now, you see, like they're not the only ones with 800 credit scores anymore.
Okay.
You know what I mean? They're not the only ones that's being creative and like now really doing generational wealth. You're seeing where you see more black people that's buying properties and acres and naming streets after their children and stuff. And like, this is my compound. And just to think, if your whiteness don't get you that, how can your blackness get you that?
I was thinking about that. Like, what causes them to like want to push back on
jealousy, jealousy and greed?
I mean, that happened. I mean, that was kind of the Rosewood story. That was the Black Wall Street story of they were just envious of the progress that black people were making, and so they come up with ways to try and hinder that and stop them from doing that. And so I want to know what y'all think when you hear, or give us a call when you hear the phrase identity politics. I want to know what that actually means to you. And then, is it possible to have a truly neutral system in this diverse country?
I don't think so.
Is it like,
I mean, ideally, because I think I'm a fair person. But I really want to make sure that my house is stable. And so,
I mean,
and so like,
doesn't everybody, right?
Right. So I'm not mad. So I'm not even mad at anybody who's fighting for. I just don't like the hatred. You know what I mean? Like, you can fight for you can fight for what you want, but fighting for what you want don't mean that you got to take from what I have. And the fact that you try to take what I got to make you better, I don't like.
That's that scarcity mindset where you start thinking that it's not enough for everybody. But when you realize that it is enough for everybody, then you just go get yours. Like, you plant your seeds and you lay your bucket down where you are and you grow and you build your harvest. I hear that. And so do you think talking about identity politics helps solve problems, or does it make them worse?
It depends on who you're talking to. And how open-minded you are. Because anybody can find a problem with a solution that we see it in Target. Look, like, I mean, like anybody, somebody's gonna have a problem with whatever you do. And so what you have to realize when you're going in that you're not gonna win everybody over. You have a platform and you're gonna sell what you need to sell. And if you believe in it, the people who believe that what you believe in will gravitate to it. And you can't really worry about anybody else who's not. And then the people that think like y'all do what y'all do. And this is how communities are built.
No, that's true. Absolutely true. And so another one of the things that came up from Professor Mack's post was he was asking the question about who decides what counts as normal in society, like because again,
the superior
white folks kind of set the standard, like even with the way we talk, right? Because I know again, Professor Mac, we just got to bring him in one of these mornings. It's spring break. Maybe we can get him in on Wednesday.
He might be out the country.
Yeah, that's true. He's an international.
Him and his wife and the children. And then you see all the boys that got all these scholarships to go everywhere.
You're right. But definitely the intellectual games. I love to have this conversation. Good morning, Mama Blue. Because I mean, it was just a great framework for how he was saying, like when they have established what normal is. Mm-hmm. Now everybody else is talking about their identity. They don't have to talk about their identity because they've established themselves as like they are, the basic, thing that everybody else has to get up.
Which is so, and this is how it's smoke and mirrors, right?
Okay.
When you look at it, they're trying to get big hair. Mm-hmm. They want bigger lips. They want big butts.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So again, they're making it that they are the norm, while copying us.
So I'm gonna take this comment, and then I have another question that just came up.
Go ahead.
As you were saying that, Miss Teresa says, ironically, I visited Portobello in the Colón province of Panama in January, and we visited a church that has a statue of the Black Christ, and I mean, that's kind of the original, but that I think that speaks to this whole idea of how you establish and plant yourself in a culture, because like the race or the color of Christ didn't really matter to Black people
until it started to matter.
Well, I mean, the fact that it didn't matter is because we accepted a white Christ.
We did.
But it mattered enough to white people for them to change his color, because we know that he wasn't white.
So this goes in.
It didn't matter to us; it mattered to them, and it mattered to them so much that they changed it to make him look like them. Gave him back to the people to say, "This is God's son."
Because they wanted to make it so. If the God of all gods is white, right?
Yeah. And the devil is the opposite of God.
Right.
So that means he got to be Black.
Maybe possibly so. And this thing. So if that is it, then who do you worship?
Yeah.
So who do you think are the children of the Lord?
Yeah, because
right. So just think.
God is white. His son is white.
And then and just think about the people who did it. They enslaved you. They became your masters.
Rewrote your Bible.
Right, and all the above to make you believe this. And then we accepted it because we just kind of went with the flow.
I mean, no, it wasn't. We went with the flow. I think it was like,
and maybe I misspoke.
I think this is what I think. I think it's like when you have a lion, right? And then you put these two lions together, and then they have a cub, right? You take the cub and you raise the cub in the circus, right?
Okay.
And so now this cub has never been in the jungle. Mm-hmm. So he's raised in the circus, and now this circus lion is jumping through hula hoops. They on fire. This becomes what the lion thinks is normal,
right?
But a lion who's actually been in the jungle knows that like something wrong with that lion over there, because why he over there jumping through her? Why he letting this man put his head in his mouth and not biting his head off? Because they haven't been so. And I think that's what happened to us. Like our parents and our ancestors, like the children of our ancestors were taken away from them and raised and reared by people who took the names, took the language, took the culture, and now they give you this image and say, this is the Lord. Well, you don't know it. You don't know your original language.
Yeah.
You can barely speak theirs. You know what I'm saying? And then they give you their Bible and their interpretations of things. And then now we see the impact of that for generations and generations. So it's like we the doggone circus lion right now. When you get reconnected with your ancestors,
you do.
Then you be like, wow. And that's what started happening. People was like, wait, we was more than this before we got here. Mm-hmm. And you start getting acquainted. Now we saying, okay, we kings and queens and we pyramid
But I mean,
builders
and you think about
project dwellers, you know what
but
I'm saying?
if they paint the picture and you look in the mirror and you believe what they say, then you become what they say.
Yeah.
Right. And that's the problem that,
true.
like, when I say
all these circus lions out here.
when they talk about black men and tell them that they're only supposed to be baby daddies, they're supposed to have a whole bunch of kids around here and not have a household that they are really,
which was something that they did during slavery,
right?
well,
which was intentional, right?
Like you think about during slavery, you have a strong black man, you treating him like a cattle, and so now you using this strong black man to go into different, plantations and like a stud horse, and you breeding with this one. You don't have to take care of the children because that's going to be the product that the master uses. Yeah, you go to another plantation, they use you to breed with this one, breed with this, and so you have that whole impact, and then now. Fast forward 350, 400 years later, that they call them engrams of that, trauma is still in you and you still deal with that, but you can't talk about it because they say, oh, that was so long ago.
But no, because then you look at, and we say it how you want to, like the broken homes, right? That you create.
They break your homes up and then blame you for living in a broken home.
Right. And then now that we're trying to reclaim how it looks and how it should, now they're mad because you see it. Yeah, you can see the product of us being awake and how we're not just going for anything anymore.
And now they mad with that doing the backlash.
Yeah.
So check this out. So I saw this too. I'm gonna get up off of it, but I think it ties in. I saw an article in the Gulfport Gabber where they were talking about the missing history. So in Gulfport, of course, with Fusion 49. We've been engaging with Gulfport a lot more, and they've been kind of wrangling over the Gulfport history. And so it was an interesting conversation that was happening here, talking about history and what gets recorded and what doesn't. And so the article in the Gabber, it says, here's the question that the article was asking: why is there so little written record about racial discrimination in Gulfport's past? That's you start with your research question. And then they started answering. They said the answer isn't that discrimination didn't happen. It says historians and longtime residents say that there's a bigger issue and it was never formally documented. And so basically, this kind of goes back to what Professor Mack was saying. They normalized it in such a way that they just didn't even talk about it. Like it just was what it was.
They over here, they ain't supposed to be here getting them out. It's dark.
And that's just the norm. That's just normal.
Because growing up, it was like, don't go to Gulfport after dark.
Understood.
Like
but it wasn't a written law. It wasn't, and so that's why what I guess they are now pressing the mayor and the current Gulfport council to issue an apology for being a sundown town, but they're saying we never officially had sundown laws, and so
and the mayor like, I didn't sign up for this. For real? No, wait, hold on. This is not what I signed up for. But unfortunately, when you're looking at even at Mayor Gulfport. Even though you didn't sign up for it, now that it's here, it's at your doorstep, you need to acknowledge and sit down and have the conversation. And you can't ignore it because you are for all the people there, and you don't have to take full you personally don't have to take full responsibility, but you can acknowledge that a group of people was mistreated. And even if they didn't write it down, you could go back and look how many arrests you have in Gulfport. And that also will tell you.
Yeah. Here's what they said. So here's some of the key facts that was lifted up in this article. They said Gulfport has been described historically as a sundown town. That means that Black people were not welcome to remain in the city after dark, often enforced informally through intimidation or warnings rather than written laws. And because it wasn't always written into policy, it rarely appears in the official records. They also said that local media didn't always report the issues. The Gabber, which is one of the city's longtime newspapers, acknowledged that in earlier decades, racial discrimination affecting Black residents often went unreported. The lack of coverage helped to create the perception that nothing happened, because it would happen, but the media in Gulfport wasn't reporting it. They said many stories exist through oral history, which is like us telling our stories right now. Instead of being recorded in the newspaper or in city documents, many experiences were passed down through families and community memory. this creates a challenge today because historians rely heavily on written archives.
Yeah.
That's kind of
somebody wrote about it.
Oh man,
somebody wrote about it.
I'm pointing over here to Mr. Edmond because it's something that he says when he hears this. They say if it's not written down, it didn't happen. Right? Mm-hmm. Like that's on jobs they tell you, if you don't write it down and it didn't happen. This is what they're saying here, because the history was oral and we passed it down, but because it doesn't exist in the written archives, they don't see a need to apologize or acknowledge it, because if it's not written down, then it didn't happen. They said the community is now debating how to address the past. Residents and leaders are asking questions like, should Gulfport formally acknowledge its sundown history? Should the city collect oral histories from longtime residents? And what does accountability look like decades later?
And the thing is, I'm not. So what are we asking for from Gulfport?
Yeah,
that's really it. Like, what are we like? So once you know, like, because I don't know what the ask is it just the acknowledgement, right?
I do, Miss Teresa. Thank you for that. Miss Teresa asked, she said, Brother John, do you remember when we sat down with Yolanda Roman and Margaret Tober at Stella's and talked about the racial history of Gulfport when Yolanda was city council in Gulfport? I do remember that.
And Miss Teresa, to answer your question, we did talk about Jamal Bryant like at the beginning.
Yeah, we did. You got to tap in early. So with this Gulfport history, you're right. Like, what is the solve? What is being asked? And how do you move forward to really bring about healing and true reconciliation? You know what I'm saying? And so but that's definitely,
we got a caller. Let's see.
I can't. Happening.
I really need my glasses, y'all.
Okay.
Hello, caller. Introduce yourself.
What's up? This King Jamal. What's happening?
Hey, King Jamal.
So I hear y'all keep saying was. How about still is?
Thank you.
Definitely a guard for St. P. Beach. Yeah. Which still is a sundown town. Worked at Trade Winds for 7-8 years. Well documented the harassment that I had on the beach, with them knowing that I worked on the beach.
Wow.
I just took my wife for her birthday, Hotel Zamora, and I'm strategically going right there as soon as the first entrance on the beach, because I don't want to deal with the sheriff. We go into the room. Guess what? As soon as we cross the bridge, the sheriff is following us, and I'm less than 100 yards into St. P. Beach. They're already on us.
Wow.
Because they see black people in the car.
Wow.
So, no, let's not say was. It still is. So they don't have to acknowledge it. Let's just address it for what it is, because it's still happening right now.
That's right. No, I appreciate that. Thank you, King Jeff, for calling in.
He kind of right, and
he kind of right.
Yeah,
he's spot on.
He is spot on, because they'll still get you. So there are some cities. Yeah. So you got Gulfport, Kenneth City. Oh, if you go to Kenneth City, that's a possibility that
like these sundown
that
towns,
you still gonna.
Yeah. Like that's one of their biggest revenue sources is pulling black people over. and you're right, because I remember avoiding Gulfport to get to the beach. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And y'all probably heard me tell my story before. That was the first time I got a ticket. I was on a bicycle riding my bike through Gulfport while black. Like I ain't do nothing. It was daytime, and they said I didn't have a light on my bike, and it was in the daytime.
Wow!
But they pulled me over, and I mean, I was riding dirty, but that's beside the point.
Because that ain't what they pulled you over for.
They pulled me over for. They ain't know that. But it was just crazy that like I literally got pulled and stopped on the bike for no other reason than just being black in Gulfport. And then they gave me a warning. No, they gave me a ticket, and they gave me and my cousin a ticket. And I handled mine. He didn't handle his. And I think that ticket sent him down a whole different path, because I don't think he paid it or something happened. But like I remember later on talking to him about it, and that ticket started him down a journey and an engagement with the doggone system that was not favorable. And so if you're just tuning in, y'all, you listen to the Tampa Bay Breakfast Club. We talked earlier about Jamal Bryant, his apology. And now we talked also about.
And just to be clear, he did not end the boycott. He ended his part of it, which was the fast.
The Target fast.
And he's done. But we ain't gonna go back down that rabbit hole.
So he ended the Target fast. I just want to give y'all a recap of what you missed. If you can go back and check it out.
And I ended my fast too.
And we talked about identity politics, who decides what's normal, and then we got into some of this Gulfport history that they're currently debating on how to address it. Like they're really trying to reconcile what they need to do to acknowledge and address the sundown town history, because they were saying that the history is not documented, and King Jab brilliantly called in and acknowledged the fact that it's not old history. This is as recent as, a couple weeks ago.
Because
like it's still happening, and so that mindset is still prevalent. Something that I saw too, just talk about a little bit of politics, was I saw that the Florida House property tax proposals have stalled because they don't have support in the Florida Senate. I know that was a big conversation. A lot of people were worried about that early on in the year and at the beginning of the legislative session. And it looks like, it doesn't look like, I should say, that things are going to be changing anytime soon, at least not coming out of this session, based upon this article that I read. And so they said several aggressive property tax proposals that were pushed by the Florida House in 2026's legislative session have effectively stalled because the Senate showed little interest in moving them forward. That means that major tax changes many homeowners were hearing about will not move forward this year, and at least not in their current form. So what the House wanted to do, House leaders had introduced a series of proposals that would dramatically reduce or eliminate certain property taxes, especially for homesteaded properties, which is your primary home. Some of the key ideas included eliminating most local property tax on homesteads. One proposal would have eliminated non-school property taxes for primary residences, meaning homeowners would only pay taxes that fund public schools. This would remove taxes that would normally fund cities, counties, fire departments, libraries, parks, and infrastructure. Additional exemptions to the and tax breaks included phasing out certain property taxes over 10 years, giving seniors over 65 full exemption for some taxes, adding $100,000 tax exemption for insured homeowners, and then limiting how fast property values can rise for tax purposes.
So eliminating property taxes for people that's in 100% insured.
So it would say if you had $100,000, it was $100,000 exemption. No, you would add $100,000 tax exemption for insured homeowners. So if your house is over, so I guess you wouldn't pay taxes on the first 100,000.
Yeah, I mean,
so 100%. So if you got a $200,000 house, you only pay taxes on 100,000.
But then, because you know how most people now, because insurance is so high, right? And once their house is paid off, they take away. They don't get the insurance because they weigh the options for them. Because heck, we know insurance. That type of insurance is definitely a ripoff. Like we seen it when the storm hit. How you can't get all the stuff that you need. You got to do. Like it's just kind of crazy. So now you're putting money back into the insurance company by incentivize you something that because what house is worth 100? Like you can't even buy a house for 100,000 unless it's condemned or something like that, or you get it on
$100,000 house days.
It's kind of over. Like especially here. Maybe somewhere else, but here, you know, our houses start at like $245,000 easily.
170, 180.
Well, you seen 170, 180 at? I haven't seen it. What?
One bedroom with no central air.
So you got a shack with you got a studio apartment. A studio apartment.
Behind it for the land. Because the house ain't really no good. But they still it's a few and far between.
Yeah, that's all I'm saying.
And what they said, the reason that it collapsed, they said the main reason was that the Florida Senate was not on board with the proposals. Senate leaders raised concerns about the massive revenue loss for local governments, which rely heavily on property taxes.
Can I say what? You know what I think? The people that read saw that it wasn't a benefit for them.
Okay.
In general, like they wasn't, and they said no.
Call it.
Introduce yourself.
The property tax bill that didn't really move in the Florida Senate. What's on your mind?
Grand Rising. It's Coach D.
Hey, Coach D.
My father's house the taxes were $2,000 and they went to $5,000.
Wow. Yeah.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
His house is paid off, and I told my family, we can make whatever decision we want on that house. That house is in disrepair, and how much are we going to sink into that thing?
Well, that's the
you know.
So I guess the reason that the taxes went up is because the property value went up, right?
In the air.
But the house is in disrepair. I mean, how much are we going to sink into that house is the question.
Let's talk offline because we're trying to keep these houses.
Yeah.
Let's talk offline.
We can keep the conversation going. You guys know my number.
No, we don't want to. Let's talk offline.
Yeah, no, I really, because let's talk, Coach D. But thank you for coming and adding that as context.
Yeah.
Because,
I mean, that's what families are facing. That's what families are facing in these conversations.
But so now that you said it, thank you. But let's take that. But we do see that people are coming in, getting these houses for the property taxes, and because we don't see and not saying that you don't see the benefit, but again, financially, a lot of times we don't have the money to invest in to take it where it needs to go.
And that's what I'm saying. There's enough smart people in our community who are making these types of investments. There's a lot of resources like what Mo did with the thing, like how to keep your home. And
that's coming back up.
There's so many opportunities. I think there's another one coming up with the realtors with Tamisha Darling and the work that she's doing to help us understand there are ways to navigate this.
And you got your Freddie Simmons, who
on the building side.
You have Joanne Nesbitt. Her the Nesbitts. They're doing their side of it. So there's definitely resources that we can do that can keep it in our community, because a lot of times we come in and we don't trust us.
That's true.
But then we would trust the person who done burnt us 50 million times. They done threw us in the fire. And we're like, oh no, this time they're not gonna throw us in the fire. And
or like fire. I mean, we ain't got no other choice. The fire is where we belong right now. And that's the other thing. Just know that there are options, but you just gotta be willing to explore them and really double click on some of these resources. Because again, what causes property taxes to rise? Is your taxes are tied to the value of the property,
which is not fair. When you look,
value was the value generated $2,000 in taxes, and now it's $5,000. That's saying something about the value of that property
and the neighborhood that you're now in.
Come on, man.
So you're looking at your father's house, or it doesn't look too good, but the house next door is a $5 million house, because you see, you got $1 million houses that's popping up.
And to the point that Coach D was making too, like she's right. Like these are decisions that families are making. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, okay, we know that the house is what we call raggly. She said disrepair. We call them raggly, right? So you got a raggly house. Nobody really has the resources to continue to put into the house, into the property. And so now, when you get these phone calls, because they beating your door down, they have the resources. So they calling, sell me this raggly house.
I got you.
I got you. And they even sending checks now.
Yeah, they do. That's your already made check. It looks so good. But they say this is not to be check cash.
So what do they know that we don't? Because that property that you saying, okay, it's a regular house, they saying, well, give it to me, I'll do something with it. And then you see 6 months later, you riding by and it's a different situation. So it's like, let's tap into these resources. We're going to highlight those options and opportunities. But again, another part of the reason that they were saying that this bill collapsed and why it didn't make it through was because the Senate, those in the Senate, they said that they pointed out that Florida has 67 counties and they all have different financial needs. And so making a statewide property tax overhaul, they called it risky, because if you do it for, like, everybody has different ways that
it wasn't beneficial for the
they got to go back home.
The
senators got to go back home, and they're mindful. Like, look, when I get back to my county,
they're not gonna be happy.
Yeah. And so without Senate approval, these proposals could not move forward. And then we want to talk about what's next.
Caller, introduce yourself.
Oh, it's just me, just you.
Hey, just you. Go ahead.
Talk to me, you. What's happening, man?
I'm gonna just say a few things that I'm gonna say. It ain't that they know, we just don't use. When you spoke of the exemptions, like the 65 and up, that's been an exemption. We don't use it. If you blind or deaf or you care for a blind or deaf person, that's a tax exemption. You don't pay no taxes. If you in the military, you got a disability, that's a tax exemption. You don't pay. First responders, they get exemptions on their taxes. That's one of the things, well, a lot of the things that we don't use to get the exemption on our taxes. Another thing is you can challenge your tax appraisal. You can go back to them and tell them, no, I don't agree with this. It's too high. And then they'll reduce it.
Right.
Now, we looking at what we can do to reduce our taxes. Another thing is they not buying those properties for the reason that you think they are, building those $1 million properties for the million. They doing it for tax write-offs.
Yeah.
They doing it for cost segregation. So yeah, they're gonna build a property and say it's $1 million property so they can get $1 million worth of write-off on the income that they already generate.
That's right.
Not because they trying to make no money, because they're using either cost segregation or tax write-offs for the next 27 years to write off for the money that they already making.
And I think we've just found our next panelist for our conversation when we have How to Save Your Home with What's Really Going Down episode.
I don't mind, brother. I told you we're going to be more active.
No, we got to get you in here, man, to really like double click on this.
Yeah, thank you, Yubi.
Thank you, Yubi. Because again, these are things that we need to know because I mean, them property tax bills is due. And there's ways to reduce those bills, and you're right. Like there are certain exemptions that we don't explore. So that's why I was saying with Coach D, it's like these are conversations that we can have offline because there's things that you can actually do to save the property, or even make sure that when it changes hands into somebody who's still in the community, right? Because that's another thing that we don't do. We just sell to the first bidder. And then we wonder why our neighborhood demographics are changing when you got people in your community who would buy your house and who want to buy your house. Like right. If I want to buy my next door neighbor's house, that's going to expand, Now I'm kind of growing my little.
And the neighborhood that they say they fear, they really don't.
Oh man, they ain't scared of nothing.
No, not until
look. Yeah, just take a look. And
5 o'clock in the morning.
You'll see.
Yeah.
And so they again just. The debate definitely is not over, though. Florida lawmakers, they ended the session without a property tax deal. They are expected to continue the discussions and possibly revisit it in a special session. They were saying that it may be a special legislative session that's going to be happening. And then any major property tax changes would also require approval from Florida voters in future elections because it would have to amend the Constitution. And so this would be something that would be put to the voters, and it's going to be important that voters are informed about the implications of it. Because I mean, as a property owner, when somebody say, "Okay, you don't have to pay property taxes," that sounds real good on the surface. But then, if you don't double click and know what's behind it, then you might end up doing something that you regret later.
All right,
we got to ask Qiana and Ms. Teresa. We'll talk about that on Wednesday. This anti-DEI bill, that anti-DEI bill did pass. And it's heading to the governor for his signature. Lots of crazy implications for that. Last thing I'll take on this, and then we'll ask Qiana. Ms. Debbie, we need to consider Pinellas County Property Appraiser Office homestead. The homestead exemption can reduce the homestead taxes required yearly and keep them or cap them at a limited amount that they are. There is programs that are offered to senior citizens. And what does it say? And the process is not that hard. Okay. We might even want to consider contacting Neighborhood Home Solutions with Trevor Mallory because there's resources there as well. And they're appreciating the information that was provided by Yubi. Tiffany said before my dad sold his paid off house, I wish he would have explored more exemptions and things. It needed too many repairs that he couldn't afford. His taxes kept rising, and his house had the same zip code as Short Acres. Wow. He's retired. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Yeah, just that. It's a lot in that.
And that is the kind of unpack.
So yeah, a lot to unpack. But thank you for sharing. Thank you for the comments and the engagement. All right. Let's see if we got time for this one. We'll try. We'll try, and if not, we'll keep going.
All right.
This is a good one. I think we can land this one.
All right, go ahead.
So Ask Qiana. The Ask Qiana segment is brought to you by One Community Grocery Co-op. Shout out to ocgc.coop. You can join, become a member owner today. Dear Qiana, every time I turn on the news, it feels like the world is getting heavier. Wars, the economy shaky, people losing jobs, families struggling, violence everywhere. It makes me feel like hard times could be around the corner. So I've been trying to prepare. I've been saving money, cutting back, thinking more about security and stability for my family. But at the same time, I don't want to live in fear or become cynical about the future. My question is this: how do you prepare for hard times without becoming negative or hopeless? Is it responsible to focus on survival and preparation right now, or should we still lean into optimism and faith that things will get better?
I think you can do both.
Here's the last part of it.
Oh, go ahead.
Where's the balance between being realistic about the world and still believing in a better future?
I think you could be realist about the world. Like, we see how high gas is, right?
Mm-hmm.
But that doesn't mean that you still don't have a bright future ahead of you. Like, so I say this and all the time, write down those 5 things at the end of the day, and it'll start making you appreciate the good stuff that happened to you, because the world is very heavy.
Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff that's happening around here that don't make us feel good.
Right.
Right. And when you look at the world, you be like, where is it going? But you create your paradise.
Okay.
And so you are what you think you are. And so even though hard times, that don't mean that you're struggling.
Okay.
That's your mindset that tells you that you're struggling. You know what I mean? Kind of. Not saying that your pockets don't, but you get what I'm saying?
You go to that bank.
But then you don't, but even if you got to cut back, you got to cut back. Like, that don't mean, like, if you were going, and this is extreme, if Gucci Louis was where you were at when times was better, now you have to go down to another brand. That don't mean you still don't look nice.
Yeah.
That don't mean that you still not enjoying the fruits of your labor. You're just not doing it at a greater cost.
Yeah.
So, like, it's just, I really want to say, you position your mindset to still appreciate the things that you have, and you can still create the life that you want.
Yeah, I agree that you can do both. I'm looking at this question again. How do you prepare for hard times without becoming negative or hopeless?
Do jobs that you like.
I think that preparation is what gives you hope, right?
Right.
Knowing that you prepared, right?
Because think about when you prepare for a test and you were sitting in there, oh, you confident. When you walk in there, the timer go off and you first one, oh, I'm good.
That's right.
Because you prepared for it.
Confidence
right?
is rooted in preparation.
If you got a speech that you got to say and you done thought about it, you done mapped it all out. When the cameras come on, you got this.
You but when a butterfly, but once
it starts, because
ready.
It's the muscle memory.
That's true.
Of what has it. So if you're not prepared for it, you are going to be uncomfortable, because when hard times come and you ain't prepared. So if all the stores shut and you got food in your pantry, you ain't as worried about as if you didn't prepare for this to possibly happen.
No, that's true. That's true. So I agree with that. So keep preparing, keep storing up food, and keep stacking up what you need to stack, and do what you need to do, so that if something do pop off, you are ready. But you don't have to go into the store like, oh my God, the sky is falling. I need some toilet paper. It's like, no, I'm going in the store. I'm getting some toilet paper. So if the sky falls, I got it.
I'm good.
So you're right. I think mindset, attitude, disposition, all of that has a part to play in that. And then as we talk about resources and the scarcity of resources, like, we got to start looking at some of these ways we can cut back if we haven't. Because sometimes we say, oh, you can cut back, but people already done made all the cuts they can make, and they really like. And so I want to acknowledge that that's a real thing too.
That is a real thing.
Everybody is not living excessively and above their means and can afford to cut back. Like, a lot of us is like, 2 checks away from being on somebody's couch for real. And so I definitely want to acknowledge that. And I think that's when we start talking about community, and we start looking at pooling resources. We start looking at leveraging the support of your neighbors.
And when you look at that,
family, friends, like
that's
really
what
tapping into the network.
You got to tap into your network because when you cut all the fat at your house, now you look at where else can I pull resources from. So like if you say, hey, I don't drive that much, but now you can figure out how to carpool.
Yeah.
Like your household and you carpool instead of you spending $30, a week for you to drive. Now you you're spending 10 because y'all carpooling and everybody putting $10 into the one car that you're doing because now you're using your neighbor and your village and hard times make you start to depend on your village. And I think that's what we're missing a lot of times. I know my neighbors, but a lot of people don't know their neighbors.
And I think the other part of what you were saying before you got into the neighbor piece, like I totally unite with that. That's why we're doing the block party so that people can come outside, get to know their neighbors. I think the other piece of that too is like once you start making those cuts, you got to apply the discipline. When we talked about discipline and being an example of discipline, because what happens is once you start, like in your example, right? If it was $30 and now you paying 10, you got to know that $20 is now going somewhere,
and it's not just leftover money.
Yeah,
like I paid $20, so
and that's the intent.
So I'm finna go buy me an extra wine cooler this week.
That sounds real good,
right? But no, that's not what you're doing it for. You're saving the $20.
It's hard to see that $20. Like you know that I was paying 30, now I'm paying 10, but it's hard to see that 20. Like it's hard, like you don't really just like, oh, here's the extra 20 that I was keeping because things are moving, things are happening, like, and that's where we start looking at like,
but it's intentional, and it has to be intentional,
and then being intentional with how you manage the things that you have. That's another piece of it, like really managing our resources because right now we just hand over fist. It come in, they've been calling, so you give it to them. Or you're not picking up them calls, and when you finally get something where you can answer the call, you give them a little bit. And I know how we be moving, and so we can easily say, I save $20. Man, you don't see that $20.
No, you don't. But if you stack it properly,
it takes a discipline and structure to allow you to actually.
So and just do the math. If you say $20 a week and just put it up,
that's $80 a month. But you gotta
and then at the end of the year, it don't seem like a lot, but it is. Yeah. So you know what?
The solution is simple, but the work is hard.
We've come to the end of this ride.
And so we want to thank y'all. Again, I want to remind you, if you are interested in building your community, making your community a safe and decent place to live, connecting with neighbors and really about that life, Child Park Neighborhood Association is a place for you. We're meeting tomorrow at the Child Park Recreation Center at 6:30. Put it on your calendar. You can move something if you have to, because our neighborhoods don't improve by accident.
They don't.
They improve on purpose. And so thank you to the people who have consistently showed up, those who are doing the work. I appreciate it. And then, I ain't gonna even read that because that'll take me on a tangent.
We got you on Monday. We got you on Wednesday. We got you on Wednesday.
Naming the realities of what we're facing. Final thoughts, Q.
Be the change you want to be or see. Again, write down those 5 things that make you feel good, giggle. I said it a little bit earlier today. A lot of times we focus on what happened bad and we forget all the goodness that happened to us. And just appreciate life. And you know who's up next? Sister Hugh.
Make you lose your shoes and shout all around the house. This has been the Tampa Bay Breakfast Club. I'm your brother John.
And this is Qiana.
And we out.
Bing.